Alrighty, there we go, guys. It's Dave Santarelli from BreakingChartAlerts.com. Guys, I want to go over a few things here. We got opening bell here that just opened. We got Apple on the climb. We have our Uber, QCOM trade on the climb here. Delta's down a little bit here. But I want to go over a few things with you guys today. So let's take a look at the screen here. Number one is I wanted to go over Intel, okay? Because we have a trade on Intel. And as you can see, throughout the breakout momentum cycle of Intel, what's it been doing? All right, I want to share this with you guys. This is really important here. All right, so as you can see here with Intel, when we're in the breakout momentum, you had the 10-20 cross because managing trades is number one priority, okay? And if I see you guys struggling with managing trades, I'm definitely going to come out and tell you guys because I want you guys to become better traders, okay? So number one is, as you can see, after the 10-20 cross, we had the MACD that had the cross here as well. We had our check. We had our green candle above 10, 20, 50 SMA after the crossover. So we had our three checks confirmation right early 2021, right? Now, what's important after that initial cycle, this is what's really important. When you get that first 10-20 cross, that's when you want to go out with something 3 to 6 months out advance for that option. So here's where you're picking up a call 3+ months out. If that's January, you're looking January, February, March, April. You're looking at the April Expo. Okay, so you're already here in April. This week is going to be the weekly expo. So if you got in at the initial crossover, like the trade plan says here, what we're going to do is get something 3 to 6 months out and continue to go until we break the low support. Now, where is support here? Okay, well, as you can see in the breakout momentum cycle, we're going to be using the 20-day simple moving average as that support area. It's been coming down. 60 is also a nice support area here, and then we have resistance. I think we're gonna have resistance right around 70. So that was our short-term target there. Okay, but as you can see, yesterday we had the sharp pullback. There's nothing wrong with Intel, guys. Absolutely nothing wrong with Intel. You saw these two big red candles here, right? You just have to understand that if you have something that's a shorter-term expo, you're gonna see that trade be much more volatile there. So it's really important to manage those trades. Right now, if Intel doesn't climb above that 10 by the end of today, I got to get rid of that trade because it expires this week here. So that's the importance of watching that trade plan and seeing where it's coming back down to support, bouncing, and then getting that run higher. Coming down to support, running, getting that bounce higher. Same thing. Coming back down to support at that blue 20, running, getting a bounce higher. So it's definitely going to be going higher in my opinion. No question about it. It's just right now it retraced a little bit down to that 20. There's a chip shortage. They met with President Biden yesterday. So we'll see how that goes. NASDAQ's up about 73 points right now. Dow is down about 98. So we'll see how that goes. But Intel right here is coming down to that blue 20-day simple moving average. We're going to see if it bounces. If it does bounce, then we're going to have to, if it climbs off of that support area right there, that's when we're going to pick up something probably for the May Expo and target that 70 once again. Let's take a look at Apple now quick. Managing current trades is number one priority, team. Apple, you had that 10-20 cross. So here's the nice thing about Apple I wanted to go over with you guys. Look at what we had here. We had consolidation, right? We had consolidation for quite a while there. And now we finally broke out. We have that breakout momentum. And now you can see we're in the breakout momentum cycle here. Okay, so this is the breakout momentum. Why is it breakout momentum? We had the 10-20 cross. We broke above that 125 resistance right here. That was acting as resistance. That's from this consolidation box here. So once it broke that 125 resistance, she's in breakout momentum and continuing to climb. That's why I tell you guys, when you first break out of that consolidation box right here, which that's what this is called, we call this consolidation, or with our trade plan, we also call it NTZ, which is the no trade zone. Okay, so for about 2 weeks there, you were in the no trade zone. We have the Apple June 18th Expo here. We have a trade on Apple. So as you can see, it broke out of that resistance. It's starting to climb. It's looking great here. So now what you're going to be doing is targeting that 135 to 140. And then if you have a longer-term expo like we have for the June 18th, you could be looking at 145. So that 135, this is really important because I want you guys to understand this. When you're in the breakout momentum cycle, I want you to go back, 6 months, 3 months, whatever the time frame of your trade is. Right now it's what, April, May, June, so we have 2 months until Expo, so it's okay to look at the 3 month. I don't care what happened longer than 3 months ago because we only have 2 months for the stock to rise, so it's not like it's going to shoot to the moon in 2 months. So we have to be realistic. So this is why we're looking at the past resistance area within that 3-month period. So you can see right here we have R1, which is resistance 1 at 135, R2 at 140, and R3 at 145. So here's R1, here's R2, resistance 2, and here's R3, resistance 3. So when you first have that initial entry with our trade plan here, the 1020 cross, the MACD cross, and then that first candle above the 1020-50 SMA, that's when we're entering. 1020 SMA, entering right here. Okay, now R1, R2, R3, that's our targets. Apple's looking good, still continuing to climb. Our Apple trades in the green. There goes Qualcomm and Uber taking off now. Big run on Apple coming up here. So that's what you're looking for here. And you have to understand, you got to be patient. This little red candle yesterday, it was still in the previous candle's body, within the previous candle's body. And like I said, we're back in the green now on the Apple trade. So it's really important. You have to understand that when you have a big red candle one day, that option's obviously gonna lose value during that time frame of that pullback there. So it's really important to understand that one single day right there, as long as you're still following the trade plan, you have to be disciplined. You can't let emotions get to you. I have too many traders, one red candle, they get freaked out because they might be down 30% on that one day there, on that pullback if you got right here at the highs of the previous day. And then down here, you're like, oh man, I'm down 30-40% here on one day. What do I do? And then they sell the trade, they lose, and then they're done trading. You can't be like that. You have to be disciplined. You have to take the emotions out of trading, and you have to follow a trade plan. You have to follow a trade plan. So let's see now. Let's clear this out and see what Apple's doing, because Apple's having a really nice breakout here. Let's take a look at the today 1 minute. There goes Apple breaking through resistance, starting that climb. Uber's getting a nice climb here as well, team. Our Uber trade that we made yesterday is almost in the green. Guys, Ephraim just shared with you in the trade room the trade plan here. If you guys are a new member with us, I know we got a lot of new signups here. Make sure you're following that trade plan. Take a look at it, watch it. We have this one and we have a couple of others. And if you go to the education section, you're going to be able to see during those drawbacks, those periods where we're coming back down to support, what it is we're doing and what it is we're focusing on during that time frame. All right, so let's take a look at the market now. We got a nice breakout coming. Qualcomm's actually having a nice breakout here. Let's take a look at QCOM. QCOM. Qualcomm's getting a nice climb. Now see how it's holding above that. Remember we were talking about this last week, guys, about it coming up to that 50. During these 3 days right here, I want you guys to talk to me in the trade room here. So during these 3 days, remember we were talking about it getting up to that 50, and we're saying, it doesn't look like she wants to break above it. Well, we finally got that break above it. That 10's having that 50 crossover. Now once we break that 140, we're clear on Qualcomm to make another trade up to that 150 to 160 target. And there's no question in my mind that she's definitely going to be getting up to that 150 to 160. My time frame is probably July, August Expo. So that's going to be one we definitely want to take a look at. So what I'm going to do now is I always have a notebook next to me, and I like to put on there what I want to look at for the week here. I just came back from the beach, seeing Ephraim and the baby. So now I want to look and see what we're going to be doing here. Qualcomm, this is my game plan for Qualcomm. Once we can break that 140, I want to target that 150 to 160 target area. And, we're going to need something a little bit longer out. So I'm going to be looking for that July expiration. So I can put Qualcomm, July, target, 150 to 160. Now what I want to do here is I want to go up to my tools, go to my calendar, and see when Qualcomm's going to report earnings here, because that's really important. They report earnings on April 28th here. So now you have to decide, do you want to go into their earnings? Do you think Qualcomm's going to do well? I think they're going to have a blowout quarter, to be honest. So I'd probably look at something for the May Expo. So now if I'm looking at the option chain here and I bring that up, let's see here. We got a nice climb on Apple going, guys. Apple's having a big breakout, and that's one of our larger trades here, so that's looking pretty good. Our Apple trade's up $200 for the day and continuing to climb. All right, so if we take a look at Qualcomm here, let's see. Roman is out at 71% gain. I think he had the, I think he got into, I was seeing before, I think an Amazon trade, right? Good morning, Paula. Nice job, Roman. He made that trade yesterday. Nice job. Now, Apple's still continuing to break out. We're up $220 on the Apple trade now, up 11%. Here's Qualcomm. Let's take a look. May 21st. 140 call is only going for about $5.47. That's for May, though. We want longer. Let's go see July. Actually, we got the August here. That'd be perfect. Not much volume. I'd rather go with the July here. The July looks much better. We could pick up that 140 for about $8.20, but there's no volume here. So I'll wait on that for a little bit, but I like that Qualcomm. I'm going to keep looking at that, and what I'm going to do right now is this. I want to go up to my eTrade Pro. I'm going to go down to Tools, click on Alerts. I'm going to bring this down, and now what I want to do is put in Qualcomm, and I want it to alert me when she gets above, I don't know why I did that. Let me see here. Let me get rid of the Qualcomm down here. Delete. There we go. Qualcomm. Okay, price above 140.00. Buy. Okay, so now once we get above 140, that alert's going to pop up on Qualcomm, and I'm probably going to end up buying that. Now, Apple's looking good here. Apple's still having a strong breakout. 135, 140 is going to be our short-term target here, especially with that June 18th Expo. Just want to let that continue to run. Apple looks great here. Now, remember, how many candles have we been breaking out here, guys? Look at these candles. Each one of these represent one day. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For 8 days, we've been in breakout momentum. So you have to understand there's going to be some point where we're going to drop back down to that 10. So that's why you're still holding on to that June 18th Expo. We got nice gains on that right now, but like I said, you got to prepare yourself. Once you get up to that 135, she might flirt with that resistance, pull back a little bit, see some profit taking before she breaks out of that 135 resistance and heads for that 140 to 145. So once I see her starting to struggle with the resistance area, that's going to be where I'm probably going to be taking profits on that Apple trade. Let her come back down to support. Once we get that confirmed bounce off of support, that's when I'm probably going to add to or make a new trade on Apple. But Apple trade is doing fantastic. That one's in the green. Intel, I'm watching Intel up above at the lows just about for the day right now, 64.70. So I'm just continuing to watch out for the day here. But Intel trade, let's see, April 16th, 67.50. So we could definitely still get above 67.50 by the end of the week. It's only Tuesday, but I want to make sure we're going to hold that 20-day simple moving average on Intel. Let's take a look at Qualcomm here, see what she's doing on it today. 1 minute. Coming down to that 10. Let's see if it's going to hold that 10 and start that climb. Let's see. Kurt asks, quick question. Besides news, Uber's and NTZ on the daily. Why did we trade it? We made a trade on Uber yesterday. Uber is actually in breakout momentum there, Kurt. You see? And this is really important. I'd like you to watch that trade plan video. It's really important. So here is that 10-20 cross, right? Here's the MACD cross. There's check 1. Check 2. Remember now, with the trade plan, we need 3 check marks, right? Now, the check mark after, yesterday was a perfect entry for breakout momentum. We had the MACD cross. We had the 10-20 cross. We broke. Here's consolidation right here, Kurt. We broke out of that consolidation yesterday on that news that they had a record March sales there. So we jumped in there. They got upgraded to, I think it was $70 or $75 a share. So we jumped in yesterday, and that's looking great. We got a longer-term trade on Uber for the June 18th Expo. I like that trade. I think she's going to continue to run. And also, we jumped into that trade because Uber has earnings coming up. Let's take a look here. On May 5th. So that's a nice catalyst there when that CEO is going to come on and say, hey, we got record bookings in March. This is what I see the company going and doing for Q2 of 2021. And, I think we're going to see a nice pop above that resistance now at $60 a share and head towards that 65 to 70. So you see right here, you have that climb above the 10, 20, 50 SMA. You had consolidations for 4 days here. You had that yellow 10-day crossing above the 20-day, the blue 20-day, and the red 50-day simple moving average. That confirms a breakout momentum cycle. We got our 3 check marks. The MACD, moving average convergence divergence. We have a green bar above the 0 line on the histogram of the MACD. We have our first candles above the 10, 20, 50 simple moving average. And we had that news acting as a catalyst to push that further. If you're zooming out there, Kurt, I can see what you're saying there, but you have that 10-20 cross now. You're trading above the simple moving averages. Back here, you're trading within the simple moving averages. You're trading sideways. Once you can break that 60, it's probably where I'm going to add to the trade. Right now, I got about 10 contracts, about a $5,000 trade. So once we can break that 60, that's when I'm probably going to add another $5,000 to that trade. But beautiful breakout momentum cycle there. You have resistance at 60. Once we can break that 60, we're going to be heading towards that analyst expectations there. And that's what I'm going to be adding to that trade. Alrighty, let's see here. Let me clear that out. But that's why you have to understand, when you have that one candle of a pullback there, don't get worried about, a trade being down 20, 30%, because with the trade plan there, you have that pullback, you get that bounce, we're climbing up to resistance, it's normal market volatility. I like that Uber chart. Let's go down the watch list here. I'm looking at some other ones here. Amazon's having a hell of a day, up about 43 points right now. Let's go down the watch list here on a 3-month daily, see if we can find any good setups. Link 1. All right, here's Amazon. Amazon's still in breakout momentum. Nice climb there. Skyjack just shared his $11,000 profit on, what is that, Amazon? Nice. $11,000 profit on Amazon. And I'm sure Skyjack followed the trade plan with this. He probably, right here is a break above that resistance area. We were talking about that when that happened. That was a nice breakout there. Apple's back on the rise. Apple's having another big run here. Take a look at Apple today, 1 minute. Just about at the highs of the day. There we go. New highs of the day on Apple. We're up $250 now on the Apple trade today. All right, let's continue to go on the watch list. Here's Baidu on that's a today 1 minute. Let me change that to a 3-month daily. All right, there we go. Baidu's not doing much. Facebook, now you see Facebook, it had 3 days of consolidation, back down up to right about that 10-day simple moving average, starting to break higher now, so you get that confirmed green candle tomorrow. That's something now you could do a quick swing trade for next week's expo on. So just keep an eye on Facebook. That one's not looking too bad there. Google's up about $7-8 today. Not too bad. It's still a breakout momentum. We have a longer-term trade on Google. I love that trade. Disney's not doing too much yet. Still an NTZ, really. Nice little run there on Netflix.
I started in Denmark. I formerly charged companies. Co-CEO Lufthansa with alleged tax fraud arising from certain past private activity that's on the hotel charge.
Delta had a large pullback there right down to that 50 like she's been doing. Right here on March 5th, on March 25th, and now again on April 13th. Now, if she holds that 50, gets that climb off of that, that's when I'm going to be adding to that longer-term July Expo on Delta.
I think 36 about.
We got a nice breakout on Tesla. Now, see, Tesla is one of those ones that just had that 1020 cross. MACD crossed back here on, right around the 31st. And you got your green bar above the zero line on the histogram. And you're in breakout momentum now with the first green candle above 10, 20, 50-day simple moving average. So now what you could be targeting is that $800 on Tesla if you wanted to do short-term trade. I'd probably be looking at the June Expo there for Tesla. And your stop is really easy. You got a tight stop at $700. Nvidia's been a beast there, Skyjack. I saw that yesterday. I was talking to Efren about that. I think that's going to have another big run here coming up. We'll keep an eye on that. AIG not doing anything. Amgen's not looking too bad. It's holding that blue 20-day simple moving average, looking ready for another breakout. Gazer said he sold Tesla on the second red candle for a 95% gain. He followed the trade plan. Nice job, Gazer. Sam? Intel chart looking ugly the past 2 days there. I want to see that climb off that 20. Otherwise, that one might be a losing trade. We might have to exit that today if we don't get a climb there. Let's see. NASDAQ's up, though, 97 points, so she's still climbing. Dow's down about 162. Google's looking great there. I think we're going to break above 2,300 this week on Google. Amazon's looking great. Now, see, the thing about Amazon, though, you had that big breakout. So when she does pull back, she might pull back to 3,300 and then start that next big climb again. So you're getting right up to about the highs of February 3rd here. If that acts as a resistance area and it fails right around that 3,430, you could possibly see a drawback here to about 3,300. Uber is back in the green for the day. Let's see. Uber, UBER. That's looking nice there. I like that breakout. I really think we're going to have a big breakout on Uber coming. So if you're not in that Uber trade, it's a nice opportunity there to jump in at slightly cheaper than what we jumped in at. She's around 435 now. We jumped in at 448 in the trade challenge account. Twitter, Microsoft, Salesforce all having big days up over 1%. Here's Twitter, 71.55. Microsoft having another big breakout there, 280, 295 now, 1.16% for the day. I think that one's just going to continue to break out there. I really love Microsoft, so I'm going to put Microsoft on my watch list here. Microsoft 258.93. I like that setup on Microsoft. Even if we do something short term like this week's Expo on Microsoft. Only thing is that's going to be a riskier trade, so I'd make that one a little bit smaller. Here's Salesforce right here. Salesforce is getting a nice climb. And just like we talked about, here's consolidation, breakout momentum, 1020 cross, MACD cross. You have to be patient with the trade plan. Beautiful setup there on Salesforce. Let's see, Goldman Sachs consolidating. Nike consolidating. Verizon came right down to that 20. Square's looking great there as well. Nice breakout on Square. We had some solid gains on that when we traded Square back here and had that target. When we got in that initial crossover or that break above resistance, I think it was, on right around February 4th. Then we had that 250 to 260 target, nailed that one. Let's see, Roman said he's in an Amazon 430 for 34.20 call. Uber's having a nice breakout. Our Uber trade's in the green, guys. Uber trade is in the green and breaking out at the highs of the day now, up 45 cents, 0.76% for the day. Nice breakout there coming on Uber. Make sure you're keeping an eye on this.
Now 21.21.
We are almost green for the day here now, guys. The only thing pulling us back is that Intel and that Delta trade.
20.
Got a nice breakout on Uber and on Apple.
BTV Therapeutics, getting up a little pop here on continued heavy volume, $3.13. Victor Tango.
Alrighty, guys. Now I have to share something with you here. So you guys remember that PayPal trade that we made, right? I'm deciding what I want to do with this right now because, as you can see, that was a larger trade. Okay, we had a decent sized trade on that. It's worth about $11,000 right now. We're up about 33% on the PayPal trade. We picked up the PayPal July 16th 270 strike call, right? We paid $16.40 for it. It's currently at $21.80. We have 5 contracts. Let's take a look at PayPal, see what we want to do, because we have an overall gain of around $2,700 on that. So let's see. We had a 300 target on it, I believe.
Deal reporter said Harmonic said to be setting up.
PayPal still breaking out strongly, up over 2% for the day. 3-month daily chart on PayPal. I mean, look at how strong that breakout is. And remember, we have a longer-term trade on PayPal. You know, that's for the July 16th expo here. So if you see that, that's looking great. We're up big time. That's why if you're getting into these trades here, you have some of these trades that are making you really large profits, while the other ones, they might have short-term consolidation or short-term pullback. But here's the important thing, guys. I want you guys to understand this. The stocks that are breaking higher and having gains, I like taking profits on these and then continuing to jump in when we pull back down to support and get that confirmed bounce higher there. So right now we're up almost $3,000 on PayPal trade that we just made last week. We might want to start looking into taking in some profits either later today or tomorrow, sometime this week. Up over 2.34% for the day here. That's a nice trade. Beautiful gains there. So it's up to us if we want to jump, take profits. But really, I'm going to be honest with you. I think we're going to be hitting $300 a share on PayPal. If you see Square running here, I think PayPal is just lagging a little bit. So I really think we're going to have a nice breakout on PayPal. So I'm going to be holding on to that trade for a bit. Even though we got a nice 33% gain on the trade we just made last week here, I'm going to be holding on to that, waiting for that continued breakout. But that's really propelling the account higher there. That's a nice gain. Let's see, what else do we have here? Uber trades doing pretty well, flirting with the green overall on Uber, the trade we made yesterday. Apple's up nicely, got about a 9% gain on Apple. Our Google trade's up $800 for the day. We have the April 16th expo on Google there, so I got to watch Google. I got to keep a close eye on Google, because right now I got to keep an eye on the trades that are expiring this week, which is Intel and Google. Intel, Google, we got to keep our eyes on those. I like Google here. I really think that one's going to continue to break out. I'm going to give that one another day or two. Guys, Uber's having a huge breakout there. We're up $200 now on the Uber trade. Take a look at Uber. New highs of the day, having a sharp breakout here, continuing to climb, breakout momentum, 1020 cross. We got that crossover on the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, first green bars above the zero line on the histogram. It's looking great. Continued breakout on a today 1-minute chart. I love that setup on Uber. Better yet, I love it even more on a 3-month daily. And we have a catalyst too. We have some really good news that came out on Uber. Record bookings in the month of March here. So when they have their quarter earnings, what did I say? It's next week. I really think they're going to have a blowout quarter. They're going to beat expectations and a quick run there. So Uber is looking great. Still breaking higher, looking good there. If you're not in the Uber trade, we have the Uber June 18th 60 strike call. We picked that up for $4.48 a contract in the trade challenge account. And in the main account, we got the same trade, just paid a little bit more there. Uber June 18th, 60 call. We paid $4.54 in the main account with that. But nice continued breakout in Uber, guys. Now, see, Intel is still holding that 20-day simple moving average. Remember, I told you. You see how she's not pulling back anymore? I mean, it does suck that she's down a little bit on a nice market where the Nasdaq's continuing to break higher here. But here you go. We're coming off the lows right now on Intel. You got that 1020 cross coming up. First green candle above 1020 SMA. MACD's cross. Now see if she holds that 20-day simple moving average. She breaks above 65. I think you're going to see a nice climb for the rest of the day there. So keep an eye on that. Uber is still having a big breakout here, team. Nice breakout on Uber. And the important part is being disciplined and staying in that trade. You know, even though we have nice gains on that trade, it's the June expiration. So I really want us to hit that target of $65 to $70 a share on Uber, which I think is going to be easily attainable, especially once we have that Q1 earnings report coming out.
Hospitalized patients with COVID-19. That's Romeo India Golf Lima.
Let me take a look here at our scanner, see what else is moving. PayPal's still climbing. We got a 35% gain on PayPal now. Uber is really breaking out nicely. Nice gains on Uber. Let's see here. One of the top gainers today is NVCR. Take a look at NVCR.
AEHR, Alpha Echo Hotel Romeo.
NVCR is up 60% today. Look at that 1020 cross, breakout above consolidation. That had news, obviously. I don't know what that news is, but that's a nice breakout on NVCR. MFNC. I'm trying to look at ones that are good names. I'm just checking out FinViz right now, seeing the top gainers, unusual volume, new highs, insider buying. All that's really important information you guys could use every day to help you with the trade plan. Let's see here. BTN, AMST. Another statement from Johnson & Johnson. We've been reviewing these cases with European health authorities. We have made the decision to proactively delay the rollout of our vaccine in Europe. We've been working closely with medical experts and health authorities. Obviously, Johnson & Johnson, they're pausing their vaccine. There's been a lot of blood clots, so that's really affecting J&J. Big drop on J&J, down about 1.8%. Climbing up from the lows, though, from the day. Uber's still on the climb. Delta's holding that 50 as of right now. Watching that, keeping an eye on that. Guys, but you guys have to understand, look at the cycle here. Okay? There's going to be pits, there's going to be pullbacks throughout that cycle there. You guys have to be disciplined. I don't understand, you know. We have a July Expo here. We're going to be buying, adding to that once we break off of that. So you see here, here's the cycle. Here's the trend. We're trending higher, right? You see the pullback. Where does she pull back to, Avilio? Right down to that 50. Look at the chart here. What's it doing? Pulling back down to support at that 50. Coming down to support at that 50, big breakout. Down to that 50, breakout. Down to the 50, down to the 50, down to the 50. You're going to be adding to that once we climb. What's the overall trend of Vilio? You let emotions play with you way too much. Definitely. When it comes down to that 50, you get that confirmed bounce. Watch that. That's going to be a good opportunity to buy short term also. That's probably what I'm going to do once we climb off that 50. Get something short term, maybe the May Expo. But there's a reason why we get the expirations we have. You know, now if I had something this week with Delta, I'd feel the same. I'd feel the same way. But we don't have this week's Expo. We have July. Let's see here. And we have the 50 strike call, which is only $3 away. It's not bad. Vilio, here, Efren just posted in the trade room with you, try finding the right strategy. So here's a class that's really great that I did. Efren just posted it in the trade room for you guys. It's called Finding the Right Strategy. It's for a Pro Traders Options class that we did a few months ago here. This is where you're finding the right strategy with the expirations, your strike prices, calls, puts, vertical spreads, butterflies, iron condors. What strategy is right for that trade setup? Looking at that chart. If you watch this video here, this class that we did, you're going to be able to see why you pick longer term expirations compared to shorter term expos and when the right strategy is to go for that shorter term expo versus that longer term expiration. And how to, kind of control your emotions during that trade. I went over that briefly in this class as well. So make sure you check that out in the trade room. It's right there. It's called Finding the Right Strategy. It's one of our pro trader classes. It'll really help you guys out that are struggling with that pullback for that short term, which is coming back down in support before breaking higher there. So check that out. Look at that. And that's really going to help you emotionally and also with those pullbacks there, where you're looking at for with support, where you're going to be adding to those longer term trades. So check that out. It's a really great video. Thank you for sharing that in there, Efren. Dr. Peter Marks is on now talking about the FDA, Johnson & Johnson. Moderna is rocketing higher here because Moderna is the only vaccine really that didn't have many problems. There is a lot of reactions to the Moderna vaccine, but she's still continuing to climb. It does, Avilio. I know, trust me. It does. And honestly, that's why some days you just stay away from the computer. Set your alerts. Do you use E-Trade or do you use TD Ameritrade? So see what you can do with your alert here setup is say, okay, a drop below 46 on Delta, let me know. What do we have on here with Delta? We got to get rid of that. Swing trade 49.30. DAL. So now if you're in that Delta trade, you can say, hey, let me know if she drops below that support area of around 46. That would be your sell area. So you could get an alert notification. That way, what did I do here? DAL price below 46. Let me see here. Oh, price below 46.80. Let me reset that there. I had an old Delta alert on there. I had to get off. Let me reopen that back up. Alerts. Let's see. DAL. Okay. Oh, price above 46. Okay. Price below. That's what I wanted. I input that wrong. 46.00. Okay. There we go. Now that's set there. Now if she drops below 46, I need to get that alert. And then I can look and analyze that trade instead of being worried about that little drop back here back down to support. But this is what I want to go over with you guys every single day. We're going to be managing trades. We're going to be going over our targets, our stops, what we're looking for, and most importantly, our strategy. And why are we using that strategy that we're using here? Why are we picking the expiration? Why are we picking the strike price? what's the catalyst to propel us to that
We
target.
have 158.13 now. It'll log 155.
Apple's starting to climb again. Nice climb on Apple. I want to look for another nice swing trade setup here. Let's see what else is moving. I'm looking at my scanners here. Avilio, we have earnings coming up. What do you think they're going to be saying about travel, air travel? We got record million. We actually have 1 million travelers per day that are flying again in the United States. We haven't had that since before the pandemic there. So everything is picking up. It's just taking some time. That's why we have that longer term expo. Look at Gazer. Nice job, Gazer. He had some Q calls, a Tesla call. He's up $4,035.49. Take a look at that, guys.
Or blood clot should establish whether the individual has recently been vaccinated.
That's nice there. Gazer up $4,035.49 for the day with the Qs and the Tesla trade. Nice job there, Gazer. I actually talked to Gazer yesterday on the phone. It was really nice talking to you. All right, let's take a look. Now, see, Delta flattened out. Notice how Delta came down to that 50. It flattened out now. She had the 1020 cross starting to climb. Now, if she breaks above 47 for the day there, I'd possibly be looking at a day trade on Delta. The only reason, why do you guys think now Delta pulled back? Avilio, I want to talk to you personally. Why do you think Delta pulled back these past 4 days here? What was the reason Delta pulled back? I want you guys to understand the reason why you have those pullbacks. Because it's a short-term thing that happened that pulled us back down to that 50. You guys know what it was?
Stress tolerance, biomass, and/or yield in plants expressing the same. That's from Evogene, EDGN, Echo Victor Golf November. Earlier, company announced their unit announced positive preclinical results from melanoma treatment.
Gazer said, "My pleasure, Dave. I'll be in Miami for my daughter's wedding. I know I will see Ephraim. I owe him a bottle of Founder's Reserve. If you're around, we'll do lunch." All right, so what happened with Delta Airlines? You had that pullback for the past 4 days. Why? It's because of the COVID cases climbing. You got a couple of the states saying, hey, you know, we should be going back into lockdown. We should be restricting travel. That's why you had a pullback on the airlines. There's fear there. So when you have fear in the market, especially in a sector, you're going to see that pullback for that short term there. You know, it's all propaganda there. You know, whatever the news or the media is talking about, that's why you're having that pullback. Right now, you got record number of travelers. The reason why Delta pulled back a little bit, COVID cases are on the climb in some states, and you got some governors saying that they want to, you know, go back into lockdown. They want to have more travel restrictions and whatnot. So that's why you saw that short-term pullback here on Delta. But for the long term here, very bullish. I like it. And also remember, we got half of Americans with at least one shot in their arm of that COVID-19 vaccine right now. Over half of Americans are vaccinated. That's 150 million plus people with at least one shot in their arm. Island Time asked a good question. Why pull back on Intel? Ephraim and I were talking about that yesterday. Ephraim, do you remember why Intel had that short-term pullback? There's a chip shortage, and they were actually meeting with Biden about funding, about federal funding. So that was the big pullback there on Intel. Let's see. They're
Medical
saying
Outfield, you're
Facebook.
seeing Medical
Facebook at
Outfield
314. Nice climb on Facebook.
J&J Vaccine.
Now, see, that one was another one. Now, see, it wasn't as drastic of a pullback, but you see, it had 3 days of consolidation, pull back down to about 310 at that 10-day simple moving average. Now you got your first green candle above the previous candle's body, there. So that looks good. Now you say to yourself, okay, we got some resistance right around 316. We break that 316, we're heading to that 320. So at 316 to 320, that's a 4-point move there. You find an option that has a delta of at least 0.5. You could do a short-term weekly expo for next week on Facebook, target that 320, and know exactly what that trade's going to make by using your Greeks, your theta, and your delta, and analyzing that trade there.
FDA says pause.
Island time. I'm waiting for Disney to break out here. I think that one's going to have a nice move. When is Disney reporting earnings here? Let me take a look at the calendar. That's going to be a big catalyst. May 13th is earnings on Disney. I'm looking for that break above 190 to add to that longer-term Disney trade. Apple's still climbing nicely there.
XPEV, XPeng, January $50 call sweep, currently at 35.36. X-ray Papa Echo Victor.
Let's get on the watch list. See, PayPal up 1.77%. Nvidia is still breaking higher. I love that, up over 2% for the day there. Let's take a look at the today 1 minute. 625 looks like it's resistance for the day. You can see right here, 625, it's been acting as resistance. Resistance at 625. So once it breaks above that 625, that'd be a nice opportunity to jump into another Nvidia trade. Right now, though, it looks like she's falling back down to that 620. That's support. Now, if she drops below that 620, guess what? You got a possible free fall down to about 610. So you have S1, support 1 at 620. S1 and S2, support 2 at 610.
RBLX, Roblox.
Tesla's having a heck of a day there.
RBLX.
Look at Tesla, 726, 727.
RBLX.
3-month daily having a nice run there. Sergi says Overstock, OSTK. Let's take a look at Overstock.
On April 27th.
That's not looking bad there, Sergi.
On RBLX.
Not looking bad. If you wanted to jump into an Overstock trade here, I'd have my stop at $70 a share, and then I'd be looking for a breakout above 80. If we break above 80, $90 should be an easy target, which is an easy 15-point climb there. Also, do you know the other reason why I got into that Uber trade? I'm going to be totally honest with you. I order a lot from Uber Eats, right? And you could ask my wife. For the past like 3 weeks, we've been ordering on Uber Eats. I don't know if you guys have the same problem. I'm in Orlando, so obviously it's a much busier city. But every time we place an order on Uber Eats, it says there that, let me see what he's saying about Delta quick. He said Delta's at 47. Look at that bounce now off that 50-day simple moving average. S&P 500, SP. There you go. Thank you for that update. Look at that bounce off of that 50, and it's starting to climb there. Beautiful bounce off of that. SP said he got into a day trade after Delta was climbing off of that support area here and got in right when I said beautiful entry there. It started a breakout momentum cycle. Nice job there, SP. That's the way you do it. And what was the stock I was just looking at? Yeah, Uber. I was talking to you guys about Uber. So I was telling you guys, every time we're trying to order something on Uber, we get a notification that said, sorry, we can't make this delivery. There's no drivers in your area. So it's one of two things. Either one, they're busy as fuck and they just cannot keep up with the demand. Or number two, they're just paying their workers, their independent contractors, way too cheap. And they're kind of, with the stronger economy now, they're leaving Uber Eats and trying to find better jobs. So it's one of two options. Which one is that? Well, guess what? We know, because Uber just came out and said they had record bookings in March. So with that being said, if people are using Uber, for the drive instead of Uber Eats, obviously if Uber Eats people aren't making money, they're going to transfer over to that Uber for the drives, right? So they just announced that they had record bookings in March. That's why we made that Uber trade there. And I'm really bullish on Uber going forward here. But that's why we got that June Expo. I want to know what they say on that conference call, and I want to go into that earnings, Q1 earnings. So that's why we jumped into that Uber trade there. And I think that's going to perform really well for us. And she's starting to climb again there and break it above that 10-20-50. Tilray having a nice climb there. Dow's starting to climb a bit, only down 100 points now for the day, getting a nice climb off the lows. Take a look at the diamond chart here, DIA. Nice climb off the lows on the diamond chart. SP, how's that Delta trade doing for you? Should be doing well on that. Nice. How many contracts did you get? One contract for $1.13. That's not bad. $113 trade. And you're already up 3%. Nice job. Keep it going. She's looking good. Square's got a big green candle there. Let's see what PayPal's doing. PayPal's starting to climb off that BDM cycle there. Uber's starting to climb here again as well. Nice breakout here on Uber, nearing the highs again for the day. Tesla is still breaking higher here, guys. We're almost at the highs of the day on Tesla. Anyone in a Tesla trade?
J&J, Norwegian Institute of Public Health, says we do not use Janssen and AstraZeneca vaccines. The way vaccine rollout would be delayed by, as if we, correction on that. Norwegian Institute of Public Health says if we do not use Janssen and AstraZeneca vaccines, the way vaccine rollout would be delayed by 8 to 12 weeks. That's J&J and VCN.
Look at Delta continuing to climb there. Looking good. Looking good. Starting that next breakout there, SP and Avilio. 3-month daily chart. It came down to that 50, tested it, and it's starting its climb now. Not far off from the highs of the day. Like that setup there. AMD 3-month daily, not too good looking. And Intel, remember yesterday we were actually talking about it. We got an alert yesterday. Intel had a new 52-week, a new 1-year high on yesterday's candle. So yesterday it was the highest it's been in a year, 365 days. Is it okay for it to have a little pullback there? Absolutely. But the thing is, we have the April 16th. That's why it's nicer to go with those longer-term trades there. Got to see if we're going to, right now we're falling below that 20-day simple moving average. If we are there probably around, 1, 2 o'clock, still below that 20, I'll exit out of that Intel trade. Tilray's up about 4% here. Still in breakdown momentum though. Let's see, Micron's down big today, 2.58%. Johnson & Johnson down 2.5%.
HCL, Dow Health share is off the lows now, 31.66, down about 14.5%.
True Leaf climbing off that 40 support. Chevron's climbing off that 50-day simple moving average. Our Bank of America, remember, we have the 39.40 vertical spread for the June Expo. That's beautiful. They're holding that 10, looking great.
Shares falling on that. Down now about 14.
Uber's having a big breakout, guys. We are in the green on Uber. Nice profits on the day on Uber. Quantum says, last September I made $3,000 in 1 hour on Facebook with breaking chart alerts. That's nice. Thank you, Quantum. Mr. Cacciatore says, that NVIDIA is going into CPU for servers, cutting Intel profit. Hurt Intel. There's a big chip shortage right now as well. They're using the chips for the cars now, for the their chips are going into all new sectors now. Uber is still breaking higher, guys. Nice breakout on Uber. Sam Rivera says, NVIDIA is eating Intel's lunch. Absolutely, no question about that. NVIDIA is definitely best of breed. Have a great day, Quantum. Good luck at your appointment. Let's see, Skyjack said Amazon's on the move. I think Trivago is going to do great with earnings on the 17th. No question about that. Guys, Apple's breaking higher. Uber's breaking higher. We got a nice climb here. Nice climb. NASDAQ's back over $105 for the day. That's up about 0.76%, continuing to climb. We're looking good here, guys. Uber's above $60 a share. Tesla is still breaking. Look at the breakout on Tesla, guys. Tesla's having a major breakout here. Broke that 730 resistance for the day. Starting that climb again. Up over 4% for the day. And look at the candles here on Tesla. I mean, that looks like an easy $800 target on Tesla if you're looking for a quick swing trade. Now, see, Ephraim just posted in the trade room, Peloton shares are trading higher after the U.S. calls for a pause on Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine after clotting cases. Well, think about what they're doing now. Peloton shares are climbing because there's fears of another possible lockdown or travel restrictions or shutting down gyms again. So that's why Peloton shares are getting a climb again. So you have to understand the cycles that are going on in the market. And those cycles are determined by the news that's coming out by the media. So like I said, here you go right here, Peloton, 1031. Peloton shares are trading higher after U.S. calls for pause on J&J's COVID-19 vaccine after blood clotting cases. That's news that's moving that stock there. Why is it moving that stock? Because people are having fear. If they close down gyms, more people are going to be getting Peloton bikes. So you have to understand the cycles in the market. Apple, new highs of the day, big breakout. We're up 12% now on our Apple trade. We got a 3% gain on our Uber trade that we just made yesterday. Tesla shares are climbing. Delta's climbing off that 50-day simple moving average. Moderna shares are up about 8% today. Take a look at Moderna here. Beautiful breakout on Moderna. Moderna is the vaccine king for this COVID. Johnson & Johnson had issues with their vaccine. AstraZeneca had issues with their vaccine.
Posting from clinical trials.
Moderna is the only one that people, their arms got sore and they might got a little redness, a little, a little rash. Maybe they got, maybe they had, some other issues, but not as many side effects with that one. I was going to play a little joke there, but I'm like, I better not.
And ETSD formulated for subcutaneous, sublingual, and oral administration.
Let's see. SP says, I'd like you guys to wish me luck on my interview today at a way cooler car dealership as the photographer. Good luck, Steven. You definitely got it. You got some talent, buddy. Skyjack's up 24% on Tesla. Look at PayPal climbing again here, looking
Coinbase
good.
says investigating issues with Ripple deposits and withdrawals.
Guys, tomorrow's the big Coinbase IPO. Coinbase just announced they're having issues with deposits and withdrawals. That's great news, right ahead of their IPO, right? They're having a direct listing too. Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and what was the other one? I forget the other one. JP Morgan Chase. They were helping them with the issue, but it's a direct listing. So that means no one's going to get the shares until the IPO tomorrow. I really think that's going to have a big one. Here you go. Coinbase investigating issues with Ripple deposits and withdrawals. Moderna vaccine knocked me out for a day. Honestly, the first one was worse than the second, but I waited a long time for my second vaccine. It was actually past the CDC guidelines. They had to call the CDC up and ask them if it was still okay for me to have the second shot, because when I had the chemo, I was too sick to get that second shot, because with those, issues that they were having, sickness and whatnot, they didn't want me to have that second shot right after that chemo. And then they scheduled me for a week later, but my stomach still wasn't feeling good, so I said, the hell with that. I waited like an extra month after that 45 days was up for that first vaccine. So Worked out good for me though. Apple's climbing. Uber's looking great. I want to see some other movers here. I want to find another good trade setup as well. If you guys see anything moving, let me know. Looking at my watch list, Tesla's still breaking higher, up nearly 5% now. New highs of the day, continuing that run. Skyjack's in a Tesla trade. He's up 24% on it. It's a nice one. I like that, Captain Thomas. There's the COVID plays. NVAX, Gilead, Moderna, Abbott, Regeneron. Skyjack's got the May Expo on Tesla. That's a nice one. Guys, did you see Delta? Where is Avilio at here? Let's take a look at that Delta trade we were talking about. S&P, what are you up on that Delta trade now? Percentage-wise, not dollar amount, because you got only one contract. Percentage-wise, that's all that matters. Percentage-wise, what are you up on Delta? He's up 8% on Delta. And he got in when you broke that 47 bucks, he said, right? He got in right here on this candle, I bet. Either at the 1019 or 1020 candle. He jumped in. He's got to have a nice gain. There's another big candle there on Delta. Refresh that account there, S&P. 47.36. Avilio. Now, do you see why that patience is so important? And that's honestly one of the reasons why sometimes, if you notice, won't be as active in the trade room or whatnot, because it's important. On those days, sit back, watch the market. You came down to that 50, we're starting to climb off of it now. Now, if we get a green candle tomorrow, guess what I'm going to be doing on Delta? I'm going to be adding either to the July Expo that we have, or I might do a shorter-term swing trade on this for going out to next month's Expo. The most important thing to watch with the Delta trade is the vaccine rollout, cases of COVID obviously dropping, and then that's going to propel Delta higher, because less fear about COVID, less fear about the economy, and then Delta is going to continue to break out there. So that's what's important to watch for that. Skyjack says he thinks Tesla's going to 900. They were actually saying a $2,000 target on Tesla. Tesla looks good there. I might jump into a trade with you on Tesla. Let's see what we got.
Tweet now from Citron Research.
Let's see, TSLA. Skyjack went out to the May Expo. I'd rather go to the June. If we go to that June Expo, wow, look at how expensive they are. $71 just for a single contract there. So it's going to be about $7,000 for a contract. I might pick one of those up. Obviously, not everyone's got $7,000 to spend on a single contract, so I don't know what you guys are going to do with that, but I might do that in the afternoon. I'll see what she's doing there. She's still climbing though. 736 near and up, almost 5% for the day. That's a nice chart though. You got that 1020 cross, break out above 1020.50 SMA. Your R1, resistance 1 is at 800, so you got another 65 points to climb until you get up there. So that's another 10% climb from the underlying equity right here. So a 10% climb of the underlying equity with options, usually options, you do a 10 multiple. So if the stock increases by 10%, option, at least 100%. And then with those ones that have less IV, implied volatility, obviously a 1-2% move could make you a really large profit there. So Tesla, new highs of the day, continuing to break higher. Skyjack's been in Tesla for a couple of weeks. looking pretty good here. Let's see if there's anything else on the scanner we could take a look at. Salesforce is looking great today. DHR on healthcare. See DHR. Danaher up over 5% today on DHR. That's looking ready for a nice move. But you can see you have that strong resistance right at 250. Look at that resistance area right here on Danaher. You got resistance right here at 250. S&P had a new record high this morning. Yeah, you see the stay-at-home stocks, DocuSign, Zoom, Peloton. Let's take a look at that. Zoom, DocuSign. Let's see what they're doing here. Guys, Uber's having another big breakout. Zoom, ZM, 3-month daily chart. You're just getting that 1020 cross there. It's looking pretty good. Docu, D-O-C-U, DocuSign. Look at that breakout on DocuSign, up 7% today. That's insane. That's an easy 250 target on DocuSign. Let's see. Michael Kogan says, in your opinion, how's Walmart looking?
FDA official said it's plainly obvious.
Consolidation, holding above that 10-20-50 and breakout momentum, but consolidating for a little bit. Just like right here. So, Michael, this is what you're looking at here.
The AstraZeneca vaccine.
So you see you got some consolidation right here. It's still holding above that 10-20-50 SMA, right? Look at what happens here. Sometimes it's a short-term consolidation. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. But you can see here, when you're coming down and you got that consolidation right here, you know, it's consolidating, then breaking out. Consolidating, breaking out. Consolidating, breaking out. It's consolidating a little bit longer term here now. Then we're going to have that breakout, and we're going to be targeting that 145 minimum on Walmart. So that's a nice setup there. It's still holding, still in breakout momentum. It's just in consolidation right now. Guys, Uber's having another big climb here. Take a look at Uber. UBER at the highs of the day and continuing to break higher. Just at the highs of the day on that candle right there. Nice gains on the Uber trade, guys. Let's see, Julia Miralez just sent us $3 there. Thank you, Julia. How you doing? She must have gotten into a trade with us. Thank you, Julia. Really nice of you to do that. Guys, look at Delta, D-A-L. What did I tell you guys about Delta? Avilio, where are you? Let's see, where is Avilio? Do you see now the importance, Avilio, of following that trade plan? That's what's super important, Avilio. Came right down to that 50, bounced nicely off of that. Now, if you were able to jump in like S&P did, Stephen Powers, you know, you were able to make a nice profit like he's already had. He's up 14% on that trade. You know, we were consolidating. Here's that consolidation area, right? This is what's important. And guys, I'm really excited because when I got home from the beach last night, I had a big package on the porch here. I put together some of the things we got. It's going to be really incredible, the classes we're doing here now. Taking that to a whole new level with this technology I bought, with some other things I got here. Delta, another big climb. Look at that candle there on Delta. 47.51, 47.52. But that's what I love doing with you guys is going over our current trade. Look at that, another big breakout. 47.55. S&P's up nicely on that trade now, I bet. Look at that breakout. 47.56. Let's see. Nice climb here, guys. Really nice climb. Let's see what PayPal's doing. I haven't looked at the main account yet since this morning when I went over the PayPal one with you. Let me see what PayPal is doing here. Consolidating. You're looking for a break above that 275 on the day for PayPal.
Commercial vessel owned by Israeli firm targeted near UAE's Ferrara port. That from Union News on Twitter.
Qualcomm on a today 1 minute chart is looking really good there, Skyjack. What do you think about that?
Anti-Monopoly Agency opens case against Yandex, YNDX, Yankee November Delta X-ray.
Yandex, that is the Russian Google. YNDX is the Russian Google. Guys, look at Qualcomm taking off here on a today 1 minute chart. I actually really like this setup here for a possible day trade if you guys want to day trade on it.
Shares of Yandex selling off here, 60.47 on Yandex, YNDX. Shares of Yandex bouncing off the low 61.81. Shares down about 1 3/4% now on YNDX.
Hey, Julia Miralez, if you message us on Facebook, I have something special I'd like to do for you. I appreciate your kindness. Guys, Uber is breaking out again here as everything's just starting to take off. We might have a nice climb going into the afternoon here. We're up almost 5% on the Uber trade now. $200 for the day on Uber in the trade challenge account, and probably up about $500 for the day on the main account on the Uber trade. Nice climb here on Uber, though, guys. Julia, please shoot us a message. Efren just gave the link there to our Facebook business page. Love to hear from you.
Al Jones says, report says China, Russia, and Iran pose abilities to disrupt U.S. critical infrastructure through cyber attacks.
S&P, is that a day trade or are you holding the are you holding that overnight? If you're in a day trade on Delta, DAL, I'd be looking first candle below that 10 as your stop. It's been gumming down to the 20, but it's had such a big move. If you let it come down to that 20 on that day trade, you're probably going to lose at least 5 to 10%. I'd be targeting, honestly, about 47.75 or higher. What percentage are you up right now on that Delta trade, S&P? I don't know why I call you S&P. Just seeing that SP, it makes me think S&P 500. So that's your nickname, buddy. Hope you like it. Google what 29 analyst ratings have to say about Alphabet. You're up 16% on Delta right now. You know? Oh, he's up 23% on Delta now. He just refreshed his account. Steve, lock it in. Lock it in. Think about it. You make, Steve, you got a small account, you said. I don't know how small your account is, but if you're making 25% on a quick trade like that, there she goes again, another big climb. You're probably up, 30% right now. He's got a $700 account. So if you just made, there you go, he just sold. What was your percentage gain? At least 25% on that. He's got a small $700 account. I remember you said you built that up from $200, didn't you? You said your account, I think it was. What was it at? $200 or $300, and you just got it up to $700? That's amazing, Steven. You came down to 200, 300. You started learning the trade plan. You got more discipline. You're back up to 700. That's a great start there, Steven. I'm proud of you for jumping into that trade. I really am. You followed the trade plan perfectly on that trade, Steven. So congratulations on that trade. Baidu just got two huge candles here. I'm looking at Baidu over here to the right. Take a look at Baidu chart here with me.
Prosecutors rest their case against former Minneapolis police officer.
Prosecutors just rested their case against the police officer, Derek Chauvin. That guy needs to burn for what he did. NVIDIA starting to climb here again as well. PayPal 273, coming back down to that 272.50 probably support area.
Nikkei reporting Toshiba's CEO to resign on Wednesday.
FedEx is just looking great. FedEx is almost at that 300 we were talking about in the Facebook group. SP said, thank you, teacher. Not a problem, Stephen. I want to get with you for a private class, too, a quick private class, because I think I can definitely help you out. I like how you have the discipline to follow the trade plan. That's the most important thing, following the trade plan. Just like Skyjack does. Skyjack's very disciplined. The more disciplined you are, the better trader you're going to become. Delta's looking nice though. Delta is coming out almost near the highs of the day on Delta here. I like that setup on Delta. I always, when you see me looking over here, I always like looking at the scanner and seeing what's moving. Because sometimes if you get a nice breakout, something that's breaking out on news or breaking out on technicals or fundamentals, you can find a really nice trade set up for a quick day trade here. Like if you have unusual volume coming in, if you have insider buying or insider selling coming in, you can take a look at that because that's definitely going to be a catalyst to either move that stock higher or lower throughout that day. So I'm just looking at, I like using Finviz here, honestly. I just like using the main page there just to look at the movers. It's nice. It tells you that if it's, what signal is it? Is it a new high, a new 52-week high, a new all-time high? Is it one of the top gainers for the day, percentage-wise? Does it have unusual option activity, unusual volume? Is it an upgrade that's performing well, a downgrade that's pushing the stock lower? Is there insider buying, insider selling? And it tells you all that. You know, so that way then you could look at that stock there and see, hey, does it follow my trade plan? Because if you got that catalyst for a nice trade setup, obviously that's, you know, usually the trades that have the biggest moves. Because if you guys remember, if we're looking at a trade setup, or if you guys actually go over our largest trades that we make, you know, the largest gainers, I should say, they're usually the largest gainers because they have a catalyst that's breaking it higher, and then also it's following the trade plan. You got the 10, 20-day simple moving average crossover. You got the MACD, moving average convergence divergence crossover. You have that first green bar above the zero line on the histogram, and then you have that first candle above the 10, 20-day simple moving average. Once you have that, and then you have that catalyst behind that trade, it's a beautiful trade setup that you could take quick advantage of for some quick profits.
IRS Commissioner Reddick says requirements to report cryptocurrency transactions would help in reducing the U.S. tax gap.
All right, before we get off the live stream this morning, I want to go over, every day I want to do this before we go off the morning live stream. I'm a firm believer of you know, always being better, helping you guys the best that we can. So before we get off the morning live stream, obviously we'll be going live again this afternoon, 2:30 to 4. But before we get off this morning video here, this live stream, is there any questions in the trade room, anywhere? You guys have any questions, anything you want to go over? Delta's looking beautiful there, still having that nice breakout. Stephen Powers, you sold right here, literally at that 1054 candle. That was beautiful there, because she's just consolidating right now. Let's see, Uber's having another breakout. We're up 5% on our Uber trade already. Look at that breakout on Uber. Big green candle there. Another big breakout coming. She's up 1.67% for the day, continuing to climb up $1. We broke that $60 resistance area. And Kurt, that is why we jumped into Uber. He asked why we got in. And that's why. Now we're going to be targeting at least that $65. It looks great there. And looking forward to that continuing to run. Really nice gains there.
Official partnership with Roblox to introduce a range of Roblox-inspired nerve blasters.
Alrighty, guys. Any other questions here before the end of this live stream? I'd be happy to answer any questions. Okay, let's see. Josh Ellsworth said he's got a rookie question here. He's been with us. He started with us with a small account as well, and he grew that really nicely. He said, rookie question here. For IPOs, are they listed on actual trading platforms, or do you have to go to a separate website or something to get the IPO price before it hits the market? Okay, so Josh, that's a really great question, actually. So when a company wants to go public, they have two ways of doing it. And back in December, they just changed the laws, actually, with the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission. So now they can have direct listings, right? Instead of going to underwriters like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, who then, you know, they charge a crazy fee. You know, it could be $500,000, it could be a couple $1,000,000. And then what they do, they go on a road show, they promote the stock, say, hey, our IPO is coming out a month from now, and they really try to sell it to the banks. Hey, Bank of America, you know, or E-Trade. Hey, E-Trade, you know, why don't you guys purchase 100 million shares, and then you can offer an IPO price at $35 a share to your clients. You know, and then, you know, E-Trade says, hey, clients of E-Trade, you know, we have IPO here for Coinbase at $35 a coin. It's not at $35, but I'm just giving an example here. So if they say, hey, we got 100 million shares at $35 per share, we're offering them to all of our customers, that's your IPO. You're able to buy it at $35 before it goes public on the stock exchange. You know, then once it goes public on the stock exchange, the people who don't have E-Trade's accounts or whoever they sell those shares to, the underwriters, then the people from the regular market could jump in. So if you don't have an E-Trade account and, you know, the underwriters go to E-Trade, give them some shares, and you don't have an E-Trade account, the people who have E-Trade accounts, they could jump into that IPO price at $35 a share. Excuse me. Whereas those people who don't have the E-Trade account, they have to wait for that IPO, the initial public offering, on the stock exchange before they could buy those shares. So that's really important to understand there. That's a great question there, Josh. So right now, Coinbase has a direct IPO. That means they're not going to any underwriters. They have some people, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citigroup, helping them with the IPO. But there's no underwriters for this IPO. And like I said, so what that means is tomorrow when they go public, no one owns their shares yet. You know, so when they go public, ring that bell, there's going to be open orders that is going to drive that stock up significantly tomorrow. You know, we're going to be watching Coinbase tomorrow because I might jump in and buy some shares of Coinbase. But that's how it works, Josh. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. And our Uber trade's still taking off here, guys. Uber is looking fantastic. So I'm going to get off now. Got to go pick up Sophia from school. I'll be back, and I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe. God bless. And I will see you guys live in the afternoon. Take care, guys. And I'll see you. If anyone has any questions, please shoot us a message. Let us know. You guys on YouTube, if you want to come join us, go to breakingchartalerts.com. Go to membership pricing plans on the Join Now login tab. And if you guys want, we got a... Ephraim, what's the promo code right now on the Elite Pro Trader? I think we changed that. Is it still promo code challenge or is it something else here? I think it's promo code Rally. R-A-L-L-Y. Use promo code... Oops, sorry there. Promo code Rally off the Elite Pro Trader. If you guys sign up now, you're going to be able to save a really nice amount off of that yearly membership. So feel free. You could join for the $125 a month, $250 a month, or you could save money, sign up for the Elite Pro Trader, which also includes app, text alerts, and all the beginner, advanced, and intermediate courses there that we have. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Great job today. Market's still climbing. We're looking good, and Uber is still taking off. Once you guys join us, make sure you download our app. If you have any questions, go down here to Facebook Messenger, log in, shoot us a message, and we would be glad to get back to you. And hope everyone has a great day. The education section's right here. Trades are right here if you want to see trade alerts. Home tab, that's where you get our daily morning newsletter and a survey if you want to take the survey. Anything you guys need here. If you're new to Breaking Chart Alerts, click here on Welcome to Breaking Chart Alerts. That's going to take you to this page right here. And you guys could watch this video, and you guys could watch some other videos here, how to set up your charts, trade room rules, what we do in the trade room. And that's your Welcome to Breaking Chart Alerts right there. So make sure you go down and check that out if you're new with us. Once you join, that's the first place you go. Welcome to Breaking Chart Alerts. Here's your welcome. This tells us everything we do throughout the day, how to set up your charts with either E-Trade or TD Ameritrade, how to use the trade room, and everything like that. So any questions, shoot us a message. We'd be glad to get back to you. And then obviously live trade room right here. And if you want to join us in the afternoon trade session, you just click live afternoon trade session right here. And you guys could have the link and everything down there. And the password's at the bottom of the page for the afternoon trading. So have a great day, everyone. Hope everyone has a good day. And I will see you guys in the afternoon. Uber is still taking off, looking nice. We're up almost 7% on Uber on that high there when she just broke above 60.50 a share. There we go, up 6.94% on the Uber trade. Nice climb there, up almost $300 for the day in the trade challenge account, and up over $600 for the day in the main account there. And Delta's taking off here, guys, before I go. Delta's having another big run here. It consolidated at that 20-day simple moving average like it did back here. Starting that climb looking good now. You had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes there of consolidation before you're getting that new breakout there. So nice job selling that, Stephen, and locking in that 20-some% gain, 25% gain. And let's look forward to some more swing trades this afternoon. Alrighty, guys, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.